Hello there. Once again, this is Anton from Anton Obey, and I just opened up my pre-ordered Marvel Legends Age of Apocalypse wave, and these have been out of the box like 5 minutes, and I'm just gonna go through them real quick and give my take on them real fast, and probably try and rank these too, because it's kind of an odd set. Now, initially, right off the bat, first thing I'm going to say, if you take every Marvel Legends wave and you just melted it into a one glob, this would probably be one of the larger globs that you'd have. I don't think it's probably been since Hulkbuster that we have had this much plastic released to us. And I'm going to chalk a lot of that up to Sugar Man, but Dark Beast over here is actually pretty hefty in his own right. So, you know, there's a lot there's a lot going on here with like just mass of figures. I'm pretty satisfied with it. I'm going to start off, I'm going to look at Weapon X here, and I love the face sculpt. I love the butterfly shoulders. It's a great Wolverine body. I love the stumpy hand. They gave him one with the claws poking through. But my initial dislike on this figure is that when you turn it around, I mean, you've got a lot of neck gappage, like a lot. I feel like they could have filled that in a little better with something, and it's just a little odd. So that was my takeaway on that. I know that's not a great takeaway, but that's the first thing I noticed. Wild Child here, who I have the original Sabretooth, the Toy Biz one that came with a Wild Child, and it was literally, he's just an accessory. He doesn't even move. So it's kind of impressive to see Wild Child with his own figure. If you don't know where Wild Child comes from, then you probably didn't read Alpha Flight in the 90s, because that's where he was at. And he was kind of like the cool jerk guy, I guess. You know, the dude with attitude in the team. And in the Age of Apocalypse, he's really just, you know, he's kind of like a pet. He has no brain or I mean, he's like an animal that's like in a coma that just like slumps over Sabretooth's shoulder. It's really odd. I could never really evaluate their relationship. He just seemed like something he carried around until he jerked the chain and then he woke up. Pyro here looks, I guess not Pyro, Sunfire, I'm sorry, I'm stupid, looks fantastic. I never had the original Marvel Legends version, but this thing is great. I really didn't expect to care about this one, and this one really popped on me. I really like the sculpt. I like the feel of the figure, if you know what I'm talking about. Some figures look great on paper, and you get them in hand, and they're just like, this isn't near as cool as I thought. And in hand, this guy is way cooler than I thought he would be. I'm going to pull up Jean Grey next. I absolutely loved this costume design, the 80s shoulder pads. Of course, I guess it was the 90s. The whole outfit, the gem makeup on her face, absolutely loved it. She also has a little bit of that lollipop head stuff going on, but it's not too bad. I like the hands. I think we saw these shoulder pads from the Polaris figure, but I'm really happy with it. I thought it's not a complex figure, so they should have nailed it, and they did, so I'm pretty happy with that one. The surprise for me was Dark Beast. I got the original Beast figure, the blue one, and I didn't really care. I'm not like a big Hank McCoy fan, so like getting a figure of him was not like, you know, the end all be all for me anyway. But the figure just kind of left me flat. I was just like, you know what, this wasn't as great. And even though there's a lot of reuse from that figure onto this one, this figure has a whole complete different vibe going on to it. Different pants and everything, and this head sculpt is crazy. Now the Dark Beast, if you've ever read The Age of Apocalypse, Dark Beast is probably one of the more evil. I know Apocalypse is evil, don't get me wrong. Sugar Man is just incredibly evil and all these things. Mr. Sinister. But when it comes down to getting their hands dirty and just doing things for terrible sake, Dark Beast in the Age of Apocalypse, he's right up there with like the worst Nazis that ever lived. And this action figure representation of him is really good, and he is just, he just oozes nastiness, and this whole like figure is really selling that to me. So I'm actually very surprised by this, and surprised by how much I like it. As much as I love the Age of Apocalypse, it was kind of a wave. It was kind of a comic book that was, I mean, I love the comic, but the wave was kind of a hard sell for me because, I don't know, Hasbro just hasn't been impressing me lately with a lot of stuff. And so I wasn't like crazy about this wave. I kind of had to have a friend talk me into getting it. And I'm glad I got it, but it is kind of a mixed bag of feelings, because it's also, because as great as it is, it's also kind of like, gosh, you know, this really was great. This would have been great 15 years ago, but we didn't have it then. This Nate figure, X-Man, this was one I was really excited for, and it's good, but it is a little bit weird. Something in with the legs seems odd and off. These feet seem small or strange or something. I don't know. Something just feels a little weird, and I'm not totally impressed with it. The jacket's good. The head's good. Everything. I guess it's just like from the knees down, he feels a little bit odd. But that's just my initial take. Like I said, I just opened these out of the package 5 minutes ago. One of my least favorite characters from the entire AOA was Morph. I don't know why I hated this guy. I just did. And I really hated him in Exiles because he just didn't stop. And he was really like funny and goofy and a comic relief in the middle of the Age of Apocalypse, and that really just came across as annoying and disrespectful, and I don't know, I hated the guy. I did. That being said, the figure actually translates way better than I thought it would, and this big heavy rubber cape feels cooler than I thought it would, but this face feels just weird, and I don't know if I like it. It's a little bit goofy. I don't remember the black around his eyes being so prominent and odd. I'm going to move him. So you notice I just caught Sugar Man because he wants to fall over a lot. This was one of the big sellers on this wave to me because the dude is so giant and nasty. And, you know, it's one of those one-in-a-lifetime Build-A-Figures that, like, who's ever going to make this? He looks so disgusting. He's very top-heavy. There's a lot of hollow in the back, but I'm not like terribly mad at that because if he was solid, there's absolutely no way he would stand. And they made the leg joints really, really tight, which they have to be because these little stumpy legs holding up this whole body. I mean, he's very top heavy anyway, so he's going to want to fall over, period. We'll see if he can stand for the rest of this video. It's doubtful. So anyway, I'm going to rank these out real quick. I'm going to, like I said, literally like minutes before I put this camera on. I'm going to put my least favorite, and I'm not going to judge by character. I'm just going to judge by figure representation. I actually loved Wild Child in the comic, but he's not going to rank very high. Actually, as good as this figure is, I think some of these are better. I'm going to put Wild Child, I'm going to put him in the last place. Then I'm going to put Morph. Gosh. You know, the Sugar Man I'm kind of torn on because he's big and impressive, but also not quite as amazing as I thought. I'm going to put Wolverine in there. Gosh, you know what? As much as I love this Nate, just because I'm glad to finally have one, I'm going to put him there, if he'll stay. You know what? As big and weird and freakish as he is, he's not going to be number one. I'm going to put Sugar Man there. I'm going to put... yeah, I'm going to put Sunfire there. I'm going to put Jean right there because I like her a lot. That is a great figure for her. And then I'm going to put Beast as the surprise, like, front runner of the one that I like the best out of this wave. And that's very surprising because, I mean, I wasn't expecting that. But he's an absolutely freaking sweet figure. And that's my take. That's the wave. They should be in stores by now. For the love of God, it took them forever to finally get me that pre-order. And there you have it. That's pretty much all I got. That's my story. If you see these on the store shelves, you want to pick a few out, go for it. If you're going to shoot for the whole wave and get yourself a Sugar Man, excellent. Anyway, that's it. Catch you guys later. Bye.